and the extent to which revitalized India-US ties contribute to peace, security and prosperity of our neighborhood, the Asian region and beyond, makes our relationship truly strategic. We recognized that today both sides stand at an important turning point. Today, we can once again realize the latent potential of our partnership, which is based on common fundamental values and converging long-term strategic interests. Secretary Kerry and Secretary Pritzker were generous in their assessment of what our new government will be able to do to realize the expectations of our people. We recognize that there is much hard work ahead to realize the people's mandate in an election of hope. My colleagues and I underlined that for our part, we see great potential for the United States as a global partner. We underlined our interest in seeing a much more robust American presence in the Indian economy, as investors, as trade partners, in skill development, in defense, and in science and technology. We also recognized that the regional and global aspect of our strategic partnership has great value for both sides, especially in the current situation of global and regional flux. We are delighted that there is a growing global dimension in our partnership. We agreed that the visit of Defense Secretary Hagel next Friday is an important opportunity to energize our defense partnership and begin the process of giving it a new strategic content. We also recognized that the maturing of our strategic relationship has given both sides the capacity to treat issues where we diverge as an opportunity for further conversation and dialogue. Towards this end, we discussed scheduling our long-pending commercial dialogue, our ministerial trade policy forum, and other vital dialogue mechanisms to address outstanding trade and economic issues that arise as a natural result of different perceptions. Today, at the conclusion of this fifth strategic dialogue, we can take satisfaction in the fact that within the few years since we raised our relationship to a strategic plane, our bilateral dialogue has an all-of-government character. The new energy that our meeting today has imparted to partner departments and ministries should lead to determined efforts to ensure that the summit meeting in September between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Obama raises our partnership to a new level. I want to thank our distinguished guests for their presence here in India. We appreciate their commitment to this partnership and the substantive contributions made on both sides today. While I am pleased at the current effort to build on the momentum of our elections, we can be truly satisfied if we sustain this effort to ensure the best possible outcomes from the summit this September and through the rest of the year. I will now request Secretary Kerry to address you, after which we'll take a few questions. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Minister Swaraj. I want to thank you, first of all, for your leadership, and I particularly want to thank you for the important perspective you brought to the discussions here today, as well as your very, very generous welcome. Thank you very much. And in fact, the Minister was extremely generous and permitted me to make a number of must-do phone calls during our session, and I'm very grateful to her for her indulgence. I also want to acknowledge and thank the many members of the United States delegation who joined me here today. Secretary Penny Pritzker is as good a Commerce Secretary as you could ever find, and I'm blessed to have her not only as a friend but as a colleague in this endeavor. And I saw firsthand today how important her leadership is in all that we are trying to undertake in science and technology, trade, all of our commercial activity and our economic issues. Before I begin to discuss what we've accomplished in the past few days, and it has been a few days because a number of members of our delegation arrived here several days ago and began meetings in Mumbai and here in Delhi. So there have been a lot of conversations taking place leading up to today. But I particularly wanted to share on behalf of President Obama and the United States our condolences with the families and the loved ones of the dozens of men and women who lost their lives in the Pune mudslide. There are many who remain missing. I know the Indian government is investing enormous resources and effort in order to engage in the recovery effort, and the United States certainly is prepared to do anything that we might be able to if indeed help was needed. I have been coming to India for many years. I've come here many times. In fact, I remember traveling here at the end of the Cold War, and it was a moment when nerves were still raw and suspicions still lingered. But as a senator, I began to see how the relationship could quickly change, and in fact did. When I began to travel to Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore with executives from companies in high-tech industries or in aerospace, it was very clear to me the breadth of the potential of the relationship between India and the United States, the potential of a real partnership. And I feel today, particularly after these 2 days of in-depth discussions, that the moment has never been more ripe to deliver on the incredible possibilities of the relationship between our nations. Now that India's new government has won an historic mandate to deliver change and reform, together we have a singular opportunity to help India to meet its challenge, to boost two-way trade, to support South Asia's connectivity, to develop cleaner energy, to deepen our security partnership in the Asia-Pacific and beyond. The United States and India can and should be indispensable partners for the 21st century.